On March 14th, open-source satellite trackers caught something screaming through the South China Sea at high speed. Not a carrier, not a destroyer. An amphibious assault ship, USS Tripoli, LHA-7. The same ship most defense analysts had already written off as a failed experiment. On her flight deck, up to 20 F-35B Lightning II stealth fighters. In her hull, 2,500 Marines. Destination, Strait of Hormuz. Here's why that's strange and why it might be brilliant. We've already broken 90% of Iran's military equation. 60 warships lie on the Gulf floor. Missile factories reduced to rubble. Drone production lines silent. 2 carrier strike groups hold the perimeter. Lincoln commanding the Arabian Sea. Ford locking down the Red Sea. A third, the Bush, is still days away across the Atlantic. From the outside, the siege looks complete. Yet Hormuz remains closed. More than 150 tankers sit anchored outside the strait, bleeding fuel costs while they wait. Brent crude hovers above $100 a barrel, not because of actual shortages, but because the market prices uncertainty. Right now, certainty doesn't exist. The remaining 10% of Iran's capability mines seated across the seabed, mobile launchers buried in mountain tunnels, fast attack craft staged in coastal coves, is enough to deny a 6 nautical mile shipping corridor. The brutal arithmetic. You don't need to sink a convoy to close a strait. Sink one tanker, one burning hull in the corridor. No insurer on Earth will write the next policy. The strait doesn't close by force. It closes by fear. And fear only needs one example. That's the paradox. The most powerful navy in history solved 90%, but escort requires 100%. The distance between 90 and 100 is a supertanker on fire. So why is the Pentagon sending a ship most analysts dismissed to solve a problem 2 supercarriers couldn't? What can 2,500 Marines do that 50,000 sailors cannot? To answer, we need to understand the weapon they're sending. A ship America built, hated, and nearly scrapped. Because the story of why it was called a mistake is the same story that explains why it might now be the answer. The mistake that became a pocket carrier. When the Navy designed the America class, Flight 0, they made a decision that ignited fire from Congress, Marine generals, and analysts alike. They removed the well deck entirely. The well deck, the ballast-flooded chamber at the bottom of every amphibious ship since World War II, is how you launch LCAC hovercraft and landing craft. It's the core identity of an amphibious warship. Designing an amphib without a well deck? Like building a cargo truck and forgetting the bed. Backlash was fierce. Congress forced the well deck's return on the third hull, USS Bougainville, LHA-8. The first 2 America, LHA-6, and Tripoli, LHA-7, were labeled failed experiments, amphibious ships that forgot how to be amphibious. What critics missed. Sacrificing the well deck unlocked. Doubled hangar bay space. Expanded aviation maintenance facilities. A fully equipped surgical hospital. Massive jet fuel storage. Tripoli didn't lose the ability to put Marines ashore. It changed how, from sea surface to air. In return, it gained something no other amphibious ship possesses: the ability to operate 20 F-35B Lightning II stealth fighters simultaneously. Proven off California in April 2022, 16 jets from Marine Aircraft Group, 13 and 4 from VMX. 1 surged from her deck in a single evolution. 20 F-35Bs. Nearly half a supercarrier's air wing on a ship that costs $3.5 billion instead of $13 billion. The ship they called a mistake became the most dangerous pocket carrier afloat. Why Tripoli fits Hormuz perfectly. Carriers refuse to enter the Persian Gulf. That 540 nautical mile bathtub Iran spent 40 years turning into a killbox. 100,000 tons of irreplaceable steel is too valuable to risk. Tripoli displaces 44,000 tons. Losing her is painful. Losing a carrier is catastrophic. Tripoli is expendable enough to get close and powerful enough to change the equation. She brings something no carrier has: 2,500 Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, forward deployed out of Okinawa. They just finished Exercise Iron Fist 26 with the Japanese Self-Defense Force practicing island seizure, electronic warfare, and rapid amphibious assault February 23 to March 9. 2 weeks before Hormuz escalated. Escorting Tripoli. Cruiser USS Robert Smalls, CG-62. Destroyer USS Rafael Peralta, DDG-115. And 2 San Antonio-class LPDs, New Orleans and San Diego, carrying Marines and gear. Cost. Pulling Tripoli from Japan strips the Indo-Pacific of its only amphibious rapid reaction force. Not a light decision. It shows how critical Hormuz is right now. Tripoli races through the South China Sea toward the narrowest strait on Earth, carrying a capability no one has brought to Hormuz before. Not more missiles, but a new dimension. Iran built beach defenses to stop landing craft from the sea. Tripoli has no landing craft. Its Marines come from the sky. 3 new capabilities. Tripoli introduces. Exact employment is classified, but the capabilities aren't. Tripoli solves 3 pieces of the 10% problem carriers left behind. 1. Persistent air cover inside the strait. Lincoln and Ford operate outside the Gulf, too valuable to risk inside. Combat air patrols from 500 nautical miles away burn over an hour each way. Time on station. Minutes before jets turn back for fuel. Gaps last hours. Iranian drones exploit them. Tripoli operates close, expendable enough for 100 nautical miles. F-35Bs. Launch with short takeoff, vertical landing. Transit. 13 minutes each way. Time on station triples. Patrol gaps shrink to minutes. Those minutes decide, does an Iranian Mohajer 6 drone spot a tanker first, or does an F-35B spot the drone? Passive sensors detect surveillance drones before they transmit coordinates. Kill the drone, break the kill chain. Tripoli closes the sky gap. 2. Island raids. On fortified positions. 3 islands sit inside the shipping corridor. Abu Musa, Greater Tumb, Lesser Tumb, seized in 1971, fortified with anti-ship missiles, coastal radar, artillery, IRGC garrisons, unsunk aircraft carriers launching at point-blank range. Conventional amphibs push landing craft through mined waters. Tripoli doesn't. Marines insert by vertical envelopment MV, 22 Ospreys, and CH-53 helicopters flying over minefields. Strike teams neutralize launchers and radar, grab intel, extract. No occupation, just silence the threat. Precedent. Operation Praying Mantis. 1,988 Marines from USS Trenton destroyed Iranian oil platforms in a day. The 31st MEU trains for this. Caveat. High risk. Island defenses post-airstrikes unclear. Lowest probability, highest impact, but now possible. Forcing Iran to garrison islands pulls IRGC troops from the coastline. Raids solve islands. 3. Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations, EABO. The Marine Corps' Force Design 2030 overhaul radical restructuring since World War II, untested at scale. Hormuz may be the first. Marines fly ashore to small islands, uninhabited coastlines, or allied territory, Oman, UAE. Establish temporary bases, HIMARS launchers, radar, forward arming, refueling points for F-35Bs and Ospreys. Creates a kill zone across the strait. HIMARS with ATACMS, 162 nanometers, or PRSM, 270 nanometers, engage fast attack craft, subs, mine layers, anti-ship firepower from shore. Marine secure mine countermeasure ships, LCS sweepers. Small boats screen against fast boat harassment. F-35Bs overhead create a protective bubble. Mine clearance takes weeks. Tripoli accelerates by protecting sweepers start escorts sooner. Precedent. HIMARS already sank Iranian warships from Bahrain during early strikes. Iron Fist 26 practiced similar scenarios. Caveat. EABO. Logistics under counterfire unproven. But physics works. Stacking the dimensions. None of these matter alone. Together, they create something Iran has no playbook for. Iran prepared 40 years for threats from the sea. Mines, shore missiles, fast swarms. masters of that equation. Epic fury added the sky. Carriers dismantled defenses from above. But aircraft sortie and return, they don't stay. Tripoli adds the ground. Marines appear on islands, coastlines, allied positions, and Marines stay. Iran's defenses: coastal against ships, air against aircraft, beach against landing craft. Tripoli bypasses all. No landing craft, Marines from sky. Arrive, where Iran never expected contest. From Tehran's view, defend island's coastline open to EABO. Fortify coastline, islands fall. Disperse everywhere, nowhere strong enough. 3 responses. 3 failures. The equation has no correct answer. Iran built against ships and aircraft, not Marines arriving by helicopter, onto undefended positions. They can't counter in weeks. Factories rubble, air defenses silent. What this doesn't mean. Hormuz won't open tomorrow. Mine clearance takes time. Escort carries risk. But Tripoli shifts the timeline. Months, weeks. Shifts initiative. From waiting, grinding, active, multidimensional solving. Before Tripoli, bleed oil markets while sieging. After, fill the 90-100% gap from dimensions Iran ignored. Carriers solved 90% extraordinary, but Hormuz demands 100%. A single burning tanker keeps insurance shut, lanes empty. The Navy refused to enter Hormuz, so they sent Marines not to invade, not to occupy, to solve from islands, coastlines, sky at ranges carriers can't sustain. Iran solved the right equation. Wrong variable. Carriers siege from outside. Marines solve from inside. The ship they called a mistake turned out to be the answer nobody saw coming. If this changed how you see amphibious assault ships, subscribe to poll updates. We don't sell headlines. We solve equations.